We continue to get tributes for the former Minister Tito Mboweni, who passed away in the early hours of this morning. We now speak to Black Business Council CEO Kganki Matabane on the passing of Tito Mboweni. Joins us now. Thank you so much for your time, sir. First of all, let's just hear how you remember Tito Mboweni.
Good morning, Policy and viewers, and thank you very much for having us. Africans and the Black Business Council, we say we familiar of Dr. Mboweni and his friends and all South Africans. Basically lost the person who pioneered, for example, he's the one who came with the Employment Equity Act we have now that has done so much for South Africans. He's the one who pioneered or started the monetary policy that we have now as South Africans. I've interacted with him. I even met him in Johannesburg, where we were discussing various things. So we've lost a pioneer, a giant. His shoes would be very, very difficult to fill, and he sacrificed a lot by fighting for our freedom, fighting for democracy, and as an economist, he could have gone and earned a lot of money somewhere else, but he prioritized South Africa to say, I want to fight for South Africans to be free, so that all of us can enjoy the benefits of freedom like we're doing now.
And, you know, many have also said that all of this had shown through every position that he held. Let's hear from you on the legacy that he leaves behind.
Yeah, he took his job very, very seriously. You'll see when he was very, very young, when he became the Minister of Labour, the first Minister of Labour under democracy, when he was appointed by Nelson Mandela. He basically started the department as we know it now under democracy. And a lot of laws, you remember during apartheid, the laws were not necessarily favorable to the majority. And then he made sure that those laws are changed and amended to reflect and represent the majority. And he also went to the Reserve Bank. We used to refer to him as governor. He also did a very great job. As I said, he started the monetary policy like we have it now. He then again became the Minister of Finance after he was persuaded by President Ramaphosa to come back so that he can stabilize the National Treasury after the challenges that the National Treasury went through the state capture. And then he did a brilliant job, and you'll recall that he then asked the president to say, please release me and let me give other people a chance. And we also were going to miss his cooking. Yes, he basically became a social media sensation in terms of his cooking skills. Some people will disagree with how he cooked the chicken, but we'll remember him as a pioneer.
And Mr. Matabane, I also want to go back to some of his programs as well as policies and what we would call legacy programs and policies. Let's hear from you on how they shaped the country.
Yes, well, let's start with the Employment Equity Act. So when 1994 came, you remember Black people were not allowed to do certain jobs. They were not allowed to do certain school subjects. And he then came and started the Employment Equity Act. And that act, if you look now, if you look at, for example, at government, almost all the director generals of government are Black. And that came through the Employment Equity Act. If you look at the private sector, for example, there are a lot of Black people who are holding senior executive positions. There are a lot of Black people who are holding non-executive director positions. There are some black people who are CEOs of listed companies, of companies listed in the JSE. There are black people who are CEOs of private sector companies. That could not have happened without an Employment Equity Act. And that Employment Equity Act, the person who came up with and acted it is Tito Mboweni. So that's a huge legacy that will remain with us forever.
All right, Mr. Matabane, I have to thank you so much for your time this morning. That was Black Business Council CEO, Mr. Kganki Matabane, joining us there.